Good morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is Bob at Canfield, liveweatherblogs.com meteorologist with a tropical update for Saturday, September 25th, 2010. Well, we continue to watch Tropical Storm Matthew dump a lot of rain across the Honduras area this morning. I'll show you some rainfall amounts here in a minute, and this could be a really big tragedy for this entire Central American Mexico area over the weekend and through early next week. Life-threatening flash flooding will go on through this area, and we could see some loss of life, unfortunately, for this Tropical Storm Matthew. But anyway, as of 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have Matthew, maximum sustained winds now down to 45 miles an hour, movement to the west-northwest at 16. It's approximately about 85 miles to the east-southeast of the Belize here. So it's going to emerge just over the corner here of the Gulf of Honduras. So it should maintain its strength through the morning. And then as it moves inland through the day today across Belize, and then kind of going to slow down here through the weekend and through early next week, just kind of rain itself out here across the Central America, Mexico area right in here. The subtropical high really saved this storm from really strengthening and possibly sitting up in this area, and then it could have maybe emerged back out into the Gulf of Mexico or even into the Bay of Campeche. So kind of shoved it just enough farther south to go over more land here, and Matthew will just rain itself out and kind of get engulfed in this big monsoonal low that we're going to have sitting over Central America here. Still want to watch Matthew. You never know. Will it try to sneak up into the Bay of Campeche eventually? I don't know. I'm still not going to totally call Matthew done just yet. The National Hurricane Center thinks so. It's going to rain itself out here across the, across Central America, Mexico area through early next week. But still want to just keep one eye on Matthew. You never know what he's up to. But again, the main thing is going to be a lot of rainfall in this area. And again, this was our subtropical high here that just strengthened just enough, just held sway to just sneak Matthew a little farther south. So it went over more land here. If it would have snuck a little farther north, we could have had a major hurricane moving into the Belize, Yucatan area. But instead, that shift just enough south, and that really saved this storm from becoming stronger. And then again, possibly could have snuck it back up into the Gulf of Mexico. So lucky on that part. Scenario number one looks like it'll turn out where it's just going to die over the Central America area. Again, unfortunate for them for the rainfall. And then what we're going to be watching here over this next week, I'll show you the scenarios, but just to show you this on the steering flow here, this trough's going to continue to carve out here across the eastern United States. So this is going to weaken this subtropical ridge here. And it looks like almost every global model has another system, kind of an offshoot of Matthew and an offshoot from this monsoonal big low here that's going to come and develop here in the Western Caribbean and then sneak itself up to the north. Whether this affects Florida, whether it goes a little farther west, whether it comes and misses Florida altogether and rides up the East Coast, those are scenarios we don't know yet. This will not affect any areas. If it does affect Florida, the East Coast won't be till next weekend. So we got again, a long time to watch what'll pan out there. And again, here's Matthew on the satellite view this morning. The center is actually to the east of this big ball of convection, so right in here. And again, Matthew will continue to move west-northwest, and then over the weekend kind of slow down and just sit in this area, and you can see how much rainfall we're going to be getting in this area. Trim, this is estimated rainfall amounts through the overnight, and you can see 8 to 10 inches throughout Honduras, coming into Nicaragua here a little bit, but this whole area, this is going to move into El Salvador, Belize. This whole area is just going to get a lot of rainfall here across Central America, and this could be, again, a devastating event for them. And again, looking at the wider view across the Caribbean, and this is what we're going to be watching. You see Matthew come in here, just got this big monsoonal low sitting in here. A little piece of energy is going to kind of develop right out here in the Western Caribbean through probably early next week. We'll see this developing in the next 2 to 3 days, 2, 3, 4 days in here. And then this will kind of kick up to the north. That's what all the models are showing right now. So let's watch this area right in here the next 2 to 3 days for some other kind of development. whether it's kind of Matthew, an offshoot of Matthew. It probably will be named Nicole if it does develop. And just showing you Matthew models. You can see everybody just kind of stopping it here across the Central America. You can see some still trying to kind of shoot it out, but this basically, when you see this kind of look, this is just the stall and die look right over here. So that's what we're going to be getting from Matthew. Just showing you GFDL Matthew again. Yeah, that's Matthew there. Then it kind of gets engulfed in this big old monsoonal low here, and then you see another little piece of energy here riding up to the north. So yeah, we'll have to watch this. Will Matthew kind of try to sneak back north? Will it be Matthew? Another piece of energy from Matthew? It's just going to be an interesting, complex situation out here. And then just going through the global models real quickly. This is the Canadian model. Again, showing you that scenario of a system developing here across the northwestern Caribbean and then moving up north towards Florida. And again, this will be towards the end of next week here. UK Met model, again, a little slower with development. This is Wednesday night, but again, kind of just has this big old area of low pressure just sitting here, and we'll see if something comes out of here and tries to move northeast. Again, the ridge is breaking down. We do have more of a trough across the east coast. And what this trough is really going to do is really help our drought situation. The southeast has been pretty dry this summer, and boy, the gates are going to be open for a lot of moisture. Already seeing that this weekend across Florida, trying to moistening things up finally. And boy, through most of this weekend, and then of course towards the end of next week into next weekend, a lot of rainfall looks like it's going to start occurring in here. So the tropical gates are finally open, and much needed rainfall across the southeast and Florida. And again, the Euro model here, again, showing you again that system developing in the Western Caribbean and then moving up to the northeast. Again, looks like just east of Florida, then up along the east coast here. And again, last but not least, the GFS model. We'll have it running here in a second here from the start. And you can see again, kind of Matthew gets engulfed in this big old monsoonal low right in here. You can see all this moisture here, and look at all this moisture just spreading up to the north, towards Florida. And then here it goes, getting itself together here in the Western Caribbean, and then pushes itself across Western Cuba, clips Florida, and then out to sea. So again, a lot of uncertainty where the system will go once it does develop in the Western Caribbean. We'll just have to be on guard, watch it, and see what happens here. Not saying that a huge hurricane is going to come and affect Florida at this point, but just be aware of it. Again, we're about a week out on this still, so we'll have to just see how this comes together during the week here. Last but not least, the bigger picture. We actually have our 7th hurricane of the season. Lisa got a little better developed yesterday and through the overnight. Now it's starting to she's starting to weaken again, but actually there was actually a little high feature here for a while yesterday, and so we have our 7th hurricane out here. Lisa's going to now start moving north, get into cooler waters, and finally, maybe, finally weaken. So that'll be the trend over the next few days for Lisa. But very interesting feature out here, as pretty remarkable. We saw Julia strengthen out here into a hurricane. Now we see Lisa, and you can see this just goes to show you how warm the waters are this year. It's just amazing year so far for that. Nothing else out there to look at. Again, we're just going to keep watching this Caribbean where all the heat is bundled up, and for tropical systems here for the next couple weeks, all eyes are going to be on the Caribbean, and then of course along the Gulf Coast we're really going to have to watch this area. Well, that's it for today. Have a great Saturday. I will have a possibly another tropical update tomorrow morning. If not, there'll be one on Monday morning. Stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com for all your latest weather information, and have a great weekend.